All right, before I let you go here, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what has transpired with the Pac-12 conference this offseason, right? UCLA and USC, of course, transitioning in 2 years to the Big Ten. What does that mean for the current conference, the 10 remaining teams? Where do we sit after the news yesterday that came out that the Big Ten may be not utilizing in their media rights deal ESPN, and how is that going to benefit the Pac-12 in their media rights negotiations with George Kliavkoff?
Yeah, good question, man. I think all of us will remember where we were the day that news dropped. I was literally interviewing C.J. Stroud's mom, Kimberly, and Bryce Young.
I was on the radio. I was on Pac-12 Network when we were doing it.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're like, holy, you know what, right? And I remember looking at my phone, and I was like, oh, my God, it kept blowing up. And I was like, are my kids okay? Is my wife okay? And then I saw, like, oh, man, is our conference okay? And I did like everybody. You went through the 5 days of, anxiety, depression, anger, sadness, all the stages of grief. But then you came out of it, and this is why I love you reference our commissioner. I'm such a fan of George Kliavkoff's leadership skills and his traits, and how he's not only held this thing together, but every AD and people I talk to continues to say the same line, which is we're going to emerge. And I think we are. Now, we're going to emerge differently. We're not going to have this market necessarily, but will we have more teams? Maybe. Will we have brands continue to grow and strengthen? Yes. Do we still have 10 teams that I think, top to bottom, if you take out the few elite teams in the country, I think our collective 10 could go compete against anybody. I say it every single year. And you call games in this league, there's great diversity of scheme. We still sit number 3 every single year in NFL draft picks. So it's not like our teams are going to roll up and quit. And I love the unity that every school has said. Regarding the media rights, to me what's been interesting about all this is like every football analyst has become a media rights expert. And I'm not that. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that the games are going to be on television, I hope, and I hope I get to do it for 20 more years and have the honor to call the games of these 10 schools and whomever else we may add or wherever that goes. But I don't know what's going to net out. I mean, I read the same thing you read. It would seemingly see that Fox is probably out of the Pac-12 conversation. And I'd imagine ESPN is largely in the Pac-12 conversation. But I don't know, man. I don't know how that stuff works. The thing I'm most jacked about now is going to training camps. Because I do think amid all this, all we talked about was rights deals and realignment and all this stuff that you and I have zero say in.
Right.
And I just made the decision. I was like, I'm going to double down on stories. I'm going to kick ass. I'm going to kick butt this year, telling stories, celebrating the game, coaching the viewer, period. Like, that's what I'm going to do. Because that's where I get the most joy. I don't like talking about this other stuff because I don't know it.
Right.
I'm an expert in the game. So that's how I netted out of, like, I'm going to have a great mindset walking into the season. George will lead our rights to an amazing place. I think our schools will remain united. And I think our league's going to do really well. I love the talent this year in the league coming back. I think we have the best group of quarterbacks in the country. I'd put our top 6, if not even more, against any other league's top 6 quarterbacks. And there's a lot of reasons why. So, yeah, man, I don't know what'll net out, but I'm excited for the future. Definitely not where I was when that news dropped at the end of June.